Melissa, have you heard the good news of our Lord and Savior Pacific Rim and their newly announced prequel series?
Wow. This missed me entirely. I've been a Pacific Rim acolyte since opening weekend. What is this?
Yeah, so I don't know much more about it beyond that. It was announced today.
Okay. That's why I missed it then.
It's in the works. Though also funny you say the acolyte, because news on the acolyte also came out today that it has been canceled, will not get a season 2. It also happens to be Manny Jacinto's birthday, so of all the ill opportune days to announce that this show is canceled, they had him at D23 on stage being like, are you hoping for a season 2? He's like, yeah, I sure hope so. Man. I don't know, but the good news.
Well, what's going to be the new horny Star Wars project if there's not an Acolyte season 2?
I do not know. I cannot answer that one for you. But we'll see. We'll see what happens down the road. How do you feel about the Pacific Rim being explored in a TV space?
Oh, that's what it is?
I think so, because they said series.
Okay. Hold on.
See if I can find
it does say TV
news thing here.
I'm looking at a variety.
Okay, yeah, that was the one I think it was them or Deadline. I think that
you had to stop surprising me with things. You have to tell me 5 minutes before we record, and then I have time to read an article first, so that our sweet innocent audience doesn't sit there while we just scroll and confirm details.
I mean, we don't need to get into all the details and stuff, but I just I want to know what your if this Pacific Rim TV show happens, it becomes a real thing. What is your interest level in a prequel television series?
I'm curious about it. I like Pacific Rim a lot. And one of the details about it that I like is that these monsters have been attacking the Pacific Rim for so long that it's both dire and humanity is kind of tried to cope with it and adjust to them. And in the opening montage setting up the world building, there's big costume mascot suits of the kaiju who will go on talk shows. There's sneakers.
Yeah.
And it made me think of as terrible as coronavirus was, you could see somebody making I made a plush corona germ. I don't know what else to do. I'm confronted with this image so often. I had to do something with it. I'm stuck with it now. Would you like to buy it? I crocheted this.
The world might be ending, but I still need to make money for food for the time being. So here's this, this. I survived the kaiju apocalypse, and all I got was this shirt.
Right. There's a sort of gallows humor pervasive in the society of Pacific Rim. And I'm curious about a show watching a world turn to that, where it's what are you going to do?
Right. It's just, this is this is the world now.
Right. And it's just Pacific Rim era's Jimmy Fallon is can we build a mascot suit of that hammerhead shark one that came out and fought Australia, and he'll sit next to me on the couch and we'll do a dance?
Yeah.
Will that make people laugh? We need to laugh.
Instead of Snoop Dogg at the Olympics, it'll be some kaiju there. It's oh, hey, look, it's that guy. Anyways, yeah, I think that's exciting. I know there's an animated series out there that I have not looked at. The Pacific Rim Black, I believe is the name of it, or something like that. But yeah, I think generally speaking, more Pacific Rim is a good thing. I would like to see more, please.
Yes.
More, please, indeed. Yeah, it feels like it's been a while. I don't know why.
It has been a while. I thought you were going to introduce the show there, and you chose not to.
I can right now.
Is that how long it's been?
It has been quite a while, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Whatnauts Captain's Log number 279. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, hi.
Hi. It's only 2 sentences. I'm like, let's just get it out of the way. Let's say our 2 sentences and move on with clear heads.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. I went to the grocery store today, and the pumpkin's creeping in.
Ooh,
you can see the pumpkin. First sign of fall. But today I saw an even rarer first sign of fall in the Halloween season coming to us. This family comes into my local grocery store. It's a dad and 2 little kids. Little boy dressed as Mario, little girl dressed as Princess Peach.
Perfect.
Full Halloween costumes. They're pushing our grocery store, like Schnucks has little kitty carts. They've got grown-up carts, but they also have little ones
for
seen kids
those.
to push around. You can put like 2 boxes of cereal in. So it's like they're doing a little Mario Kart. Right. That's all they eat. 2 cereals. A fruity cereal and a chocolate cereal, and those are a little kid's food groups.
Yep. Sounds about right to me.
But you never see, like, you will see Halloween costumes on sale quite early.
Right.
But you never see kids just breaking them out on August 19th. Maybe this was like a first day of school treat.
Oh, yeah.
If the dad's like, I know you're bummed that summer's over. You're anxious about going back to school. As soon as you come home from first day of school, if you've been good, put on your Halloween costumes early, kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, even my bosses at work was like, it's my kid's first day at preschool and all of this stuff. I'm just like,
yes.
Oh wow, I don't think
if
about
you're
that
near
stuff
a parent
because I don't have kids.
If you're near the parents will tell you it's their kid's first day of school at any grade, at any age, the senior year in college, all the way down to baby. They'll tell you it's my kid's first day of school today.
Indeed. Yeah, I don't know. So we've had a similar experience. We went to our grocery store over the weekend, and yeah, they have their like holiday like they have the section of the store that is the like it's actually more like home goods. You can get like little candle holders or baskets or stuff like that, but it's also the like holiday section that they replace. Like it's 4th of July, it's Valentine's Day, it's Halloween, and they already have everything out for Halloween, or at least like some of it to be like, hey, start decorating now, right? Like start getting it in now.
You gotta make a plan. People complain about decorations coming out too early, but if you're somebody who goes hard on the holidays, you gotta have time to scope it out, see what's available, make a plan, make a budget, do your best shopping. We don't want to live in a world where people only have 3 weeks and have to do this in a hurry.
Yeah. We also had I guess what is the true sign of the times for each year. We happen to have one right near us, right near our house. There's a shopping center that used to have some kind of like smaller grocery store, something there.
Yes.
It hasn't been a grocery store in a long time, so it's sat at empty. And this year, Spirit Halloween has taken it over. And that, like, we saw the sign like a month ago to like, we're starting, like, coming soon. Here we go.
Do you want to be hired? We're hiring. It's Spirit Halloween.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, that's at least fun that we won't have to go very far. It's just like right down the street and around the corner.
Yes.
So
please report back on your findings for what Spirit Halloween has right now.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's open yet. or if they're just like they're in there setting up and getting all the stock in and building all the who knows what, the shelves and stuff. So
what do you think the hottest generic Halloween costume is this year? We don't have Austin Powers, we have British Spy. What's the
Australian break dancer is going to be a hot one. Australian break dancer. Poor Ray Gunn, man. That whole situation was not great.
I did not get to see as much of the men's break-in. The women, I watched the women's finals and like a little bit of the men's qualifiers.
Yeah,
there's a lot of break-in I have to catch up on.
Yeah. If all you guys watched was like the 20 minutes of the women's qualifying and then checked out, that was not the like level of quality that was at the Olympic breaking. There was some incredible stuff. So
there truly was.
Well worth checking out. But yeah, I think that'll be a hot generic costume that will be at Spirit Halloween.
Man, which would be wonderful, because I don't think generic B-boy or B-girl has been a Halloween costume of note for 35 years. So I'd love if it came back.
It's just here's a really cheaply made tracksuit. That's all it is, right?
You can't even go get your own tracksuit at like Ross. You have to go and get like a flimsy, shiny one.
Yeah, has some like kangaroo patch on the side. Yeah. Good Lord.
I had great fun watching Breakin'. I watched it with my mother, who knew very little about it, but knew that you liked it and you used to do it. So we're watching it like, do you think Kyle knows how to do that? Does Kyle know all these songs?
Literally zero of those moves. No, I had to stop breaking and switch to choreography when I started to learn the like fancy stuff and realized, it's going to take me years just to get this one move down. On top of that, I have to be continually learning other stuff, and this is just so incredibly hard.
Right. You're already in college. You're not there to get a break-in degree.
Yeah. No.
If only.
But yeah, I switched to choreography, and that was a blast. So I could do some of the like top rock stuff when they were like standing up. Still. But yeah, no, that
we undervalue the top rock. When you picture break-in, you picture the floor moves. So it was nice to see all aspects of the performance given full weight and attention.
Yeah.
I love every time I love that it was battle structured, which is a different structure than I think every other Olympic sport.
Yeah.
Gymnasts don't work like that. Horse dressage doesn't work like that, as far as I know. That the horses do tricks at each other.
Right.
But after one of the B-boys or B-girls would finish their round, they do a like silent, wordless burn to the other one.
Yeah.
All in good fun. It was wonderful to see them like hug and embrace with so much love and joy and pride at the end of the match. But I never saw a burn repeated in all the matches I watched. There was such a deep variety of burns with no words. Burns that transcend international boundaries.
Absolutely.
We all speak the common language of making you look like a fool.
Yeah, like you're a baby. Like there was one. They're sort of like you're a child.
It's so creative.
Yeah, I think is what made it so much fun to watch, is if you could listen. The downside I think about the whole thing is you couldn't really hear the music as well as I had hoped. And then a lot of times the commentators talking on top of it like that made it even more difficult to hear the music, and hearing that is important to understanding the moves that they're doing and how all of this is on beat and why it's so creative and stuff like that. So I had to like turn the volume way up just so I could hear it. But yeah, like if they know the songs, supposedly there was like around 300-ish songs that were cleared to be played, which that was also a big hurdle for the Olympics. Is like, we need to get the rights to all of these songs to be able to be played on this stuff. And then they have that playlist and they need to memorize it and know when everything is, when all the like they could hit this little cymbal that's in the back there or the bass guitar that's and it's so much fun to be like, I didn't even think you could hit that. Like how do you do that?
And it's a showcase for the dancers and the DJs and the MCs. Again, this is a sport that does not have. It has these things that no other Olympic sport has. It is so of its own. I think because it's been such a strong cultural presence for so long before it was added to the Olympics, whereas more ancient sports, like gymnastics, it doesn't have that much of a culture that precedes the Olympics, I don't imagine. Whereas this like grew wild. And then when the Olympics were like, we should have this sport, they're like, well, we got to take everything else that goes with it. We're going to take its terminology and its structure and its culture and its style. We're going to have all our rows of Olympic judges wearing like bucket hats and
they
baseball
were all
shirts.
Dancers.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So something interesting. Last note on that stuff that I did not know about the Olympics, but apparently every host country or host city gets to pick, like, I think up to 5 sports that will be included in the Olympics. And it's not necessarily like a recurring thing. So for example, breaking will not be in the LA Olympics because it was one that France picked, and the United States had already made their picks before competition even got started. I think lacrosse is gonna be one of the ones that's in there. So I thought that was interesting.
Wow. I thought they just all happened all the time.
Yeah, no.
Unless like one of them got really small. Like the world just doesn't have enough archers this year. Not doing archery, sorry.
Certain ones get to be picked, and I don't know if the ones that I saw for the US were final or not, or if they were just listing random stuff. But some of the ones that I saw was like baseball and cricket and lacrosse, and I forget the other 2 that were there, but sounds like we might have baseball in the Olympics next time, so who knows?
Who knows?
But
did you watch the closing ceremony?
I did, yes. Yeah. Was not as big of a fan of that one. That's in my mind is meant to be like a party for all of them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
it's not necessarily for me. So I don't know.
They gave me what I wanted, which is stunts. Which is
the stunt man himself.
Right. Which is Tom Cruise doing a greatest hits of I'm going to rappel down a wire. I'm going to run. I'm going to be on a motorcycle. I'm going to jump out of a plane.
Crazy.
a great surprise. A wonderful way to start LA's legacy. They turned the 2 O's in the Hollywood sign into 2 of the Olympic rings, which I don't know if they did that digitally so that it would be a surprise or if they literally rigged that up in real life. I hope they are going to literally rig it up in real life for the whole month that the Olympics and the Paralympics take in 2028.
Be good.
I can't wait for all the movie stunts that will be in that opening ceremony. I hope it's just like a theme park stunt show writ large. They
I
just
have no
do
idea.
everything
Yeah.
that
Who
you
knows?
love from cinema. We're going to do the truck flip from the Dark Knight. We're going to do it all.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, the Olympics were good fun indeed. Before we get into D23 and all that stuff, let's get into some of the movies that we've been watching recently. I just added one a couple minutes ago to my list. I only have 2 on my list here. So I have Kneecap and Didi. Were the ones
Didi.
that I've seen. Yeah, do you want to talk about Didi first, since we've both seen that one?
That was a lot of fun. It was sadder than I thought it was going to be. Not in like an overarching tragic way, but just like, this is a 14-year-old boy who keeps screwing up and doesn't know how to get himself out of it, with like very minor social screw ups. Nothing that's really going to matter in his life 2 years from then, but still like, oh, bummer. You're not in your friend's MySpace top 8 anymore. I
Right?
really feel for you.
God, it was such a throwback to see all, like, to hear all of the old AOL sounds, the instant messenger stuff, to like see the way they were typing on all of that. Just like, oh, I remember all of that. We were so cool. KEWL, cool. Yeah.
When you'd go over to your friend's house and the activity you would do together was just computer.
Right. Yeah. Just like, let's get on AIM and talk to one of the girls. Right. Yeah.
I'm going to go to Fahad's house and just do computer.
Yep. Watching early YouTube, going to E-Bomb's World, Homestar Runner.
You're the man now, dog.
Yeah. Napster.com. God, yeah, it like, that part of it was such a blast. It was such a nostalgia trip for people our age. Like, we are the like target audience of like, hey, remember what it was like to grow up in that time? And yeah, I had a blast with it. But yeah, there is a sadder tinge to the movie than I think a lot of people expected. Maybe, I don't know. I'm speaking out of my butt there, but at least for me, I think I was also expecting a bit of a different conclusion to the film here. Some kind of like, and then he found his people, or like, and then that YouTube got like 4,000 views, and he's like, right, he's like, he has some success, and that's not really where the movie ends up. And I don't really think that's a spoiler to necessarily say, but yeah, it's a coming of age story, and a story where you learn like, hey, it's okay to like screw things up. It's okay to not really be sure where you fit.
Yeah.
So I had a great time with that.
A heartwarming time. Happy you saw that.
Yeah,
Tell me about Kneecap.
Kneecap. Have you heard of this one? Have you seen a trailer for this one at all?
I had heard the log line. When you wrote it down in our sheet, I remember that was the name of a film, and I Googled the name of the film, and I'm like, right. I knew one or two sentences about it. But please tell me more.
So, yes, it is a biopic, or a biopic based on a true story about a group of Irish rappers and their kind of rise in popularity. And something that is really interesting to note is that the two rappers and their JJ are the people playing them in the movies. It's not actors playing them or stuff like that. They are playing themselves. And so they get to tell their own story about how, like, what they did and why that was so important, and stuff like that. And something that I did not know, since I don't keep up with Irish history here in the United States, but I guess up until like 2022, it was illegal to use the Irish language in like legal settings or something like that. So the movie kind of starts out with this kid being arrested and refusing to speak English. He is only speaking in Gaelic, I believe is the language. And the cop does not speak it, so they need to get a translator. And there's a woman who is like an activist in like, hey, we need to change this law and all of that stuff. She ends up sending her husband to go be a translator. The husband is a music teacher at a high school, and when he sits down like in the interrogation room, it's kind of this awkward situation for him, because he's like, my wife is advocating for people like you to be able to speak Irish in these settings, so I'm on your side, even though it was the cops that brought me in to translate, and I don't like the cops either. But how do I get you to trust me to not be like, I'm actually on the cop side? Long story short, he has a notebook there with him in the interrogation room, and it's all these raps that he had written. And he tries to convince this kid, like, hey, you need to record this stuff. Like, you need to actually make music. And so they get their little group together, start recording, and it is a blast. I had so much fun with this. The music is incredible. It is so catchy. I'm still like singing it and like playing it. I've listened to their discography on Spotify now. Stuff like that. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it.
Was it in theaters?
It was, but in very select theaters.
Okay.
We had to, for both Kneecap and Didi, we had to go to a different theater because it was not at our local one that we could do our little like movie pass subscription thing with. And I highly recommend it if you're able to check it out. It's hilarious. It's a great time. The music is so catchy. It is so good. I think that one will be up there for like, surprisingly, this is a great film. Because I think sometimes those movies can be a little hit or miss, especially when the musicians are playing themselves, right? It's like, you guys aren't really actors, so I don't expect you to be good actors and all that stuff. They were great just being themselves, and I think that's like what made it so special. Their father, however, in the film is played by Michael Fassbender, so you will recognize him at least.
I googled the movie and I did recognize Michael Fassbender. You're
there you
right.
go. Congratulations. Brain works.
I dread the day that I get so old I no longer recognize Michael Fassbender.
Who is he? But yeah, absolutely put that on your to watch list down the road. It's real good. I had a lot of fun.
Good to know. I also saw a tiny little slowly released indie movie this week based on true events, starring the actual guys who were in the events.
There you go.
I saw Sing Sing.
Yeah. I'm interested in that one, but I don't know anything about it other than Coleman Domingo is in it, and I know he's a fantastic actor.
Thing to know.
Yeah.
Yes. Sing Sing is right now often cited as the front runner for Best Picture and him as the front runner for Best Actor.
Good. He deserves it. He's incredible.
I can definitely see why. Sing Sing is a movie about a group of inmates at Sing Sing prison who are in the rehabilitation through the arts program where they put on plays. And when the movie starts, it's not this traditionally inspirational story where there's like a teacher who comes in who's like, do you guys know theater? And they're like, theater? And then they learn to do theater. When the movie starts, they've already formed a theater troupe. These guys are friends. They love doing theater. They're so excited to do even the dorkiest of, theater acting exercises, like walk around the room like you're a gorilla, walk around the room like you're a cat, walk around the room like you're a zombie. Like they'll do all of that. They'll play Zip Zap Zop.
Skills.
Yeah. The movie's more about a newcomer to the theater group who is maybe a little bit more of the conventional tough guy who does need to warm up to it a little bit.
Sure.
But it's a remarkable film, just in its simplicity, but also its nuance. It's shot beautifully. Everything is such space, both visually and narratively. There's space for things to sort of live and breathe and grow. I just sat there with this big smile on my face. I'm like, this is wonderful.
That's great.
I'm so impressed with this.
Yeah.
It's had a long, slow rollout where it's started like very small. Like I have been waiting for this movie to come to our market for weeks, if not like a month now. And the second I saw tickets go on sale, I'm like, get them! I have to get them! I don't care when it is. And I saw it at like a Thursday night, which is not my typical move. I'm a weekend gal.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw it on a Thursday night and I'm like, this is the hottest ticket in town. And then I went and there was like 8 other people in the theater. So I might have been a little over eager. But I think that is Sing Sing's strategy. Roll out so slow, so small. There's
been a couple of
the word
those,
of mouth.
because that was the same thing with Didi too. Is like we were waiting for it to come to our like Regal Unlimited, and I had seen that it was, I think, out in certain theater, but like I thought that was like the wide release date, and then it wasn't in the app, it wasn't in the like coming soon stuff, and then I heard like, oh no, it's actual, like that was the premiere, and like the actual release date is like August 3rd or something like that. And so August 3rd rolls around, still not in our app, all that stuff. I'm like, that's strange.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to go see Kneecap, which we also had to find at a different theater, and we saw a poster that was like, oh, Didi is out like on the weekend of the 18th. It's out on like the 16th or something. And I heard that was like, okay, that's the wider release. But even then, still wasn't in our movie theater. So I was just like,
yeah,
I really want to go see this, so I'm going to go no matter what. But But then, like, Cuckoo didn't appear in the app until like a couple days before. Like Kneecap wasn't even in our thing. So
it's a hunt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this is how they do build up excitement, is with the exclusivity.
Maybe.
They just prey on us mid-city film nerds in moderate Midwestern markets, clawing for our indies.
New movie will travel.
Us. We'll go. We'll go from the one Regal to the other Regal. We'll see them all. I did see Cuckoo.
Okay.
I liked Cuckoo. It's not as gnarly and intensely scary as the trailers would lead you to believe, but that's me talking.
Sure.
I like a horror. I like to be scared. But it is a really interesting movie. I love that lead star a lot.
Cool.
Cuckoo's a good time. I saw Coraline re-released in 3D.
Oh,
That was
cool.
fun because I never got to see it that way originally. That is a movie that 3D works very well on, especially. Yeah. That was fun. And I did see Borderlands because I'd been seeing the trailer and I was confused by it. And I thought, well, the only way to resolve the confusion is to go see for myself. Because sometimes you see a movie trailer and you're like, I don't know who this is for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're clearly, I know it's based on a video game and I don't know much about the video game. But for people who don't know the video game, it's got this like brightly colored, motley band of adventurers looking for a thing. So it's got some Guardians of the Galaxy energy in there. And it seemed odd to me that it starred Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis, two Oscar-winning actresses who are, we'll say, AARP eligible. I'm like, who wants both of those things? And then I realized, oh, I do. It might be me. How do I know this isn't for me unless I go see it?
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever had less feelings while watching a movie. I didn't dislike it. I just sort of felt kind of glazed over. Like this isn't. I felt curious. I'll say the production design, like hair, makeup, costumes, things like that, looks good. There's some things that I can tell, even if I don't know the video game. I'm like, you must have ripped that right out of there and brought that to life. That is impressive work. The performances are pretty committed.
Sure.
And so I'd watch the movie and I'd think, well, I wonder if that design's true to the game. I wonder if this one extra who the camera focused on for 2 extra seconds is like a voice
Some
actor
Easter egg,
or an artist or So I was just sort of puzzled, but I didn't dislike my time, but I I felt very tepid, very lukewarm room temperature water.
That's so funny because I'm not a fan of the Borderlands video games, which I'm very much in the minority of that. But even as the series has gone on, I've known some people to be like, yeah, the Borderlands brand of humor was good in maybe like 2012, 2014, whenever that first game came out.
Didi would have loved it. It felt like this is right in Didi's era. In 2008, this would have hit then.
Yeah. And to see those same, that like similar brand of comedy not really changing throughout the game. Good for them for that creative choice, but also not for me anymore. Right.
Right.
And
the script did feel like it was something that maybe had been frozen in amber from like 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah. But I tried playing the first one, didn't get very far in it, just wasn't really for me. So I've had zero interest in the Borderlands movie. But even then, just seeing who they got cast for everything, it almost makes you wonder, like, who is this for? With Jamie Lee Curtis in this, but then you also have Kevin Hart and Jack Black. So is this for like the Jumanji crowd? Like, what is that? Like, but then, and I don't remember her name. She was the girl in Barbie, the young girl.
Oh, Ariana Greenblatt.
Yes, she's been in all sorts of stuff.
Good in this.
Yeah. I've liked her in everything that I've seen her in. So yeah, is she in this for the younger audience to get that? Are they trying to get everyone in this? Because when I talked to my parents this weekend, they said, we might go see that Borderlands movie. It looks good. And I'm just like, what? I don't understand this, Mom. I don't understand this, Dad. What are you doing?
Truly trying to get everybody from 16 to 66. Yeah. And they got me and maybe your parents.
Yeah. Yeah, like my mom likes Kevin Hart. She likes Jack Black. She likes Jamie Lee Curtis. Like it's hitting all of that stuff. But then it's also like an action movie, so my dad would be a little more interested, right? He doesn't like all of the like slower art films and stuff like that. So it seems like something that both of my parents could go see and have a good time. But then I also know that they would have no idea what's going on in most of it. And that's, I mean, I haven't seen it. I don't think it's all that complex of a plot, but right, like I feel like with it being a video game tie-in and this kind of loud in your face vibe, I was like, I don't know, you guys, you can have fun if you want.
Give it a shot. You know, like I said, it is an interesting assembled cast. They're doing fine work, and it is good to look at. If you ever, this is a like put on while you're cleaning sort of movie. You're not really paying attention to it. You're just looking at it while you're polishing the table with that stuff that smells like lemons.
Pine Sol.
Yeah. Well, when you Pine Sol it up, Borderlands can be there. It'll be a fine companion in that context.
Exactly. Good stuff. Well, is that all we got on our cinema corner for right now?
Yes.
I believe so. All right. So that means let's go to housekeeping. And when we come back, I will let Melissa off the leash to talk about all the theme park D23 stuff that y'all can handle. So we'll be right back. Thank you so much for checking out this podcast. We hope you're enjoying it. If you didn't know, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and a lot of hard work goes into making them, so we would love it if you check them all out. But none of this is possible without your support. Head over to patreon.com/thewhatnauts and you can get access to over 40 hours of exclusive content, including our Patreon first podcast, The Pilots Club, when you sign up at our $3 tier. Of course, there is a free version of the Pilots Club available, but episodes are exclusive to our Patreon for 2 years before they hit the free feeds. If you're interested in buying merch, we have shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more for sale over at thewhatnauts.com/store. Another great way to help us out is by subscribing and leaving a nice rating and review on your podcasting app of choice. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for video versions of the show, trailer reactions, and live streams. And lastly, you can always find out more information about the shows we make on our website, thewhatnauts.com. All right, and we are back. Once again, a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. We love you. We thank you.
Thank you.
It means a ton. Over on the Pilots Club, we released an episode on the Amazon Prime show Homecoming, based on the audio fiction podcast of the same name. That one was a blast. Lots of interesting aspect ratios in that pilot, some interesting filming techniques.
Not something like you can often say about a TV pilot, the aspect ratios.
Right?
But you're right.
Yeah, indeed. And then over on the free version of the Pilots Club, we released our episode on Small Wonder, a sitcom from the 80s. Is that right? Or early 90s?
Oh, boy, is it. Absolutely.
Super 80s. Yeah, about a family that adopts a small robot that looks like a little girl. There you go. Go check that one out as well. Right here over on the Captain's Log, I believe last episode we got to talk about all of the Comic-Con stuff that was happening. Yeah. It's interesting because at the start of the podcast, I was like, it feels like it's been forever. It hasn't. It's only been 2 weeks, and it feels like all these announcements are kind of like pushed in together. It's all happening in the same month, right? So I don't know where my perception of time is, but yeah, lots of announcements. We'll get to D23 in just a bit here, but over on the review show, we released our episode on The Prisoner, a television series from the 1960s about a spy that quits suddenly and no one knows why. And so they gas him and then they take him to this mysterious, weird village. Dude, who knows where this village is located? It seems like the whole thing is a big experiment run by the government. Which government, though? I don't know. Who knows? It's a big mystery. But yeah, we had a great discussion on that one. There's lots to talk about with that show. Yeah, we had
truly a ton to cover.
Yeah, absolutely. And over on the Reactor Core, our most recent thing is our spoiler cast for Deadpool and Wolverine. So if you guys have seen that movie, go check out our spoiler cast. But yeah, that is about it for housekeeping for the moment. I will say the next episode of the review show will be slightly late since I will be traveling this next weekend. I'll be off in Tampa, Florida for a bachelor party. So hopefully I survive the experience.
What are the sights and sounds of Tampa that you look forward to?
To be honest, I don't know. I think on the trip we've been talking about like a brewery tour, potentially kayaking. I don't know if we're going to be doing that or like renting a boat and fishing. Or something.
How old are you guys?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna be the youngest one by a good amount.
Wow, little baby Kyle.
Yeah.
There's a Busch Gardens in Tampa. Will you go there?
Who knows? We might. You never know.
I'll do some research.
Yeah. The review show will be a little bit later than normal, and that will be episode 300 of the review show. So big milestone for us over there.
I'm on visitTampaBay.com, and they've got all these buttons for like, do you like golf? Do you like water? Do you like sports? Do you like nightlife? Nearby beaches, and the button you click just says, see them.
All of them. You can see them. Well, I will report back if I see them when I'm down there. Melissa, let's get into D23 and some of the stuff that has been happening. I know you've been stoked about all the theme park stuff, which is...
Do you know anything about the theme?
No. Legitimately zero. Nothing.
Oh, I get to play Josh tomorrow tonight and present this news directly to you.
You get to blow my mind.
This is a 2-person D23.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. The Disney Cruise Line is announcing 4 new ships.
Wow.
This is in addition. Kyle, this is in addition to... They, I believe, have 5 ships now.
Okay.
They're working on building 4 ships that we knew of.
Yeah,
4
almost
more.
doubling.
And this weekend, they're like, no, there's going to be 4 more than that.
Wild.
And they're all named like Wish and Dream and Wonder. They're
Wish
all in
2.
that naming convention. Right. So I'm wondering, like, how deep are they going to get? Are you going to sail on the Disney whim? Right. How many words can they find under this theme?
Interesting. Okay.
Let's see. Let's start with California. In California, we will be getting a Avatar-themed land at Disney's California Adventure. This will be primarily themed after Way of Water and Avatar 3, Fire and Ash.
There you go.
The Avatar land in Animal Kingdom in Disney World in Florida has been well received. Terrific production design. Really looks like you're in a funky little alien world.
That's awesome.
People are excited to have a second one, especially that it'll be very different from the first one, as opposed to Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars land, which is just a carbon copy across Disneyland and Disney World. Also over there in California Adventure, they're going to be adding a Coco boat ride.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And in Avengers Campus, they're going to be, this has been in the works for a while, a big Avengers ride. They've said that it'll be multiversal themed and the villain will be King Thanos. It's Thanos, but he's a king and he's got a crown and he's got a beard. Beard's a good look for Thanos. He wears it well. This ride they revealed will be called Infinity Defense, and you'll be using the portal jump technology to go to a bunch of different lands.
That's cool. Yeah.
And realms, I guess, throughout Marvel. So you'll go to Wakanda, you'll go to Asgard. I hope there's a lot. I hope they add some, rotate them in and out.
Yeah.
Get to go to Contraxia or someplace weird and obscure one day.
Get to go to nowhere.
Yeah. Let's go there. And then over in Florida, let's see. We have a new nighttime parade.
Mm-hmm.
An extremely dorky thing that we're all very excited about. I'm looking at a news article that has everything laid out, but it's not laid out in any kind of order that makes sense. So I'm scrolling back and forth around here.
You're good.
In the Animal Kingdom Park, they're going to be adding a Tropical Americas area. There will be a new Indiana Jones ride.
Oh, okay.
Where he's looking through a Mayan temple for some sort of magical creature.
That's
and
fun.
There's going to be an Encanto experience where they're going to build the whole magic house.
Oh,
you have to go through Casita.
Yeah.
Very popular. I'm happy they're jumping on that as promptly as they can. You know,
Sure.
It takes quite some time to turn around a theme park ride.
Yeah.
But with that movie coming out in Christmas 2021, this is a good timeline for them. This is probably as fast as they could have announced a ride.
Right, but by the time they finish building it, the live action adaptions of all of the days will be out, and then you can, it'll be new in everyone's mind.
They are building a ride that people have been wanting since 2001. In Disney's Hollywood Studios, they will be adding a Monsters, Inc. coaster.
Oh, yeah, cool.
That finale scene where they're in the door warehouse.
Yeah.
They're traveling with all the doors flying around.
I wonder
you get to
what that
ride it now.
Coaster will look like. Will they strap you onto something where it looks like you're holding a door? Because that would be great.
It will be Disney's first ever suspended coaster.
Huh, yeah. Okay. There you go.
People are very excited for this. It'll be part of a whole Monstropolis area, but there is some concern that they will tear down the Muppets area to make way for this. Which
okay.
we're hoping it doesn't come to that.
Yeah. I feel like there's history. I feel like the Muppets deserve their own space, but I feel like you could also take that out of the Disney spot and just have it be its own, here's Muppet Land and it's its own theme park right next door.
They were talking about how it is, and it's not like a ride. It's called Muppet Vision 3D. It is a theater show where you sit in a theater and you watch this movie that is the last thing Jim Henson ever did before he died. And there's Muppets who come out of the walls of the theater. It's kind of interactive.
That's cool.
Somebody runs out in a whole Sweetums costume. And they're like, this could be picked up and taken to the Smithsonian, the Museum of the Moving Image, something like that.
Sure, yeah.
They released 2 pieces of Monstropolis concept art, and one of them placed it in an area that looks like it's Muppet Courtyard, and another placed it in a different area of Hollywood Studios. So everyone's been arguing, where are they actually going to build it? Which one of these is more recent? Which one of these is true? Are our Muppets safe?
Yeah. I just no disrespect to the Muppets, because I know the amount of work it takes to go in and how long running it's been, right? That's incredible. But yeah, I feel like something like Monsters Inc. is a little more modern, not necessarily lasting as the Muppets have proven, but if they feel a need to update the park, I feel like something like Monsters Inc.
Let's update it with this movie from 2001. Yeah.
Yeah. Can they coexist in the same spot? Can the Muppets and the monsters be neighbors?
I think so. There's blue guy and green guy. Meet different blue guy and green guy.
Yeah. The Muppets
blue guys
make
and green
the kids
guys
laugh.
together.
The monsters harvest the laughter, right?
Yes.
That's what needs to happen.
Yes. Who will make a kid laugh more than Fozzie Bear? It's perfect.
Disney, hire me.
I'll
fix everything.
Kyle, who can maybe name 3 Muppets.
Kermit, Big Bird.
A Jim Henson Studio creation. You're in the ballpark. Over at Magic Kingdom, they are going to be adding a Cars area.
Cool.
And in Disney's California Adventure, there is an existing Cars area, which has been very well received. Like people who are not into the Cars movies are still like, this looks good. All those big fake rocks that kind of look like cars, those like mesas of the Cars universe,
yeah.
Wonderfully translated to a real physical environment. The Cars ride they have out there seems like it's a lot of fun, just a well-designed ride. So cool. I'm up for some Cars there at Magic Kingdom being added to the Frontierland.
Yeah.
They will have to take down the Rivers of America and the big steamboat. But from what I've learned, that has become an extremely difficult area to maintain.
Sure. Yeah.
And it needed to go at some point anyway. So now is the time. The big news. Let's go back. Actually, let's knock out a couple international things and then we go back to Magic Kingdom because that's where the biggest advancement is coming. Disneyland Paris is getting the first ever Lion King ride.
Huh.
There's never been a Lion King ride.
Yeah, I would have thought there were, like, I'm assuming there have been like experiences or like theater shows
stage show.
Or
Yes.
Yeah. But no ride. Interesting.
Seems like a log flume. Again, there's conflicting concept art where one piece has the original like 1993 animated characters and another piece has the like photorealistic animated characters from that movie a couple years ago.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So who knows what it will actually contain, but doing a big log flume down Pride Rock, either way, fantastic. Enjoy it, Paris.
Yeah.
Disney Shanghai and Disney Hong Kong are both getting new Avengers rides. I think they're both getting Spider-Man rides. And one of them's a coaster and one of them seems like it's a drop tower.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, and over in Avengers
Stacy
Campus
experience. The drop tower.
Only Andrew Garfield can save you now. Over in California Adventure, there's also a smaller, in addition to the big Avengers e-ticket ride, they're also doing one called Stark Flight Lab, which is where you're on this big mechanical arm and you're strapped in and it sort of flies you around. It's an outdoor ride, which is interesting. Will be really pretty to be on that at night when the park's all lit up and there's fireworks.
That's when I feel like I have to see what it is to truly imagine it.
It uses a Kuka arm, and I don't know how to explain to you what a Kuka arm is.
Yeah, that nothing is coming to mind.
You know those like hydraulic robots that like build cars in factories, or like the ones Tony Stark himself has in his lab?
Yeah.
It's a big one of those that just sort of like whips and twists you around.
Huh. Okay. I see. Interesting.
What else are we getting internationally? There's all sorts of stuff. I don't keep as big of the big news.
Yeah.
In Magic Kingdom in Florida, Disney is finally adding the much requested Villains Land.
Nice.
Yes. It's confirmed to have at least 2 major rides. Well, I hope it's 2 major rides. Could be a big one and like sort of a standard, spin you around teacups, whatever. The theming is what we care about. We care about villains. We want to go see Chernobog's Mountain.
Yeah.
We want to go to Ursula's Grotto or whatever. There'll be shopping. There'll be dining. It'll be fabulous. I can't wait to see them all.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
We love the villains. It'll be a very welcome expansion. And I was listening to a Disney podcast today that was saying this is probably their response to Universal Studios' new park in Florida having an entire Universal Monsters Land.
Mm. Yep.
Like, we have to compete for Goth's dollars also.
Yeah.
Goths come over here too.
Halloween will be fun here.
It's almost like it's a little permanent Halloween over there in Villains Land.
Exactly.
I love Oogie Boogie.
Oh yeah.
I want Oogie Boogie to have the like kids play area, because a lot of times these parks will have like just a place for like little kids to run around with like sandboxy jungle gym type stuff.
Yeah.
I'd love just like playing with bugs. Just Oogie Boogie's like corner of bugs for the kids. Kids love bugs.
They can climb on and climb inside
Big
of
bugs.
and crawl around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good.
So fantastic theme park news this year. If I feel like the pop culture stuff was a little milder.
Yeah, I kind of thought so too.
It's a lot of,
especially with Marvel kind of doing all their stuff at Comic-Con. I was kind of expecting smaller stuff.
Yeah. Incredibles 3 is a wonderful announcement. I think that was maybe the biggest thing out of there. There's exciting details added onto titles we already knew were coming.
Sure.
Like, we get some sort of expansions. Here's details. Here's concept art. Here's a release date. Here's a little bit of a trailer, et cetera, et cetera. But that's the big announcement.
Yeah.
Incredibles 3.
How do you feel about Toy Story 5?
They've proven us wrong time and again. Every time we're like, oh, but all the Toy Stories we already have are perfectly fine. It's like, well, 2's pretty good. 3's good. 4's good.
But like,
all of them do have a specific angle and a thing they are adding. They never feel repetitive.
Yeah, and that's a thing that I think has like confused and often left people with this like mixed feeling of like they announced another one. Is Toy Story 3 was such a good ending to like that original arc that they were telling, that to then go on and do Toy Story 4, which we did a spoiler cast on a long time ago, whenever that came out over on the Reactor Core, and that was one that I admittedly had those exact thoughts of like, I don't know if I need this. I don't think I do. I'm prepared for this to be kind of bad. And then we walked out being like, actually, that was pretty good. Like that, like, bravo.
Right. This world is rich. There's always a new thing for them to explore.
Yeah. So we'll see what's happening with Toy Story 5 down the road at some point. Other things that like caught my eye, obviously, was the Star Wars Skeleton Crew trailer, which I thought looked fantastic.
I love that it showed us a suburb, a thing Star Wars has never shown us before. It's
Star
always
Wars
like
suburbs,
right? It's like you're in Coruscant, you're in the big whole planet's a city, whole city's a planet of Coruscant. You're in the moisture farms of Tatooine. You're in like a swamp. You're in a snow. Yeah. You're never just in like a mid-sized outskirts of a city. You know, they're never in something that looks like structurally the neighborhood where I grew up.
Yeah. So yeah, that one I think will be interesting, especially as it is more like a kids focused live action show. I think that'll be really interesting. And then stuff that I did not know that was announced or all of that stuff, but I guess Pixar is having some TV series.
Kyle, we talked about this years ago. Yes, you were excited for it. like
I'm
4
excited
years
now.
ago.
Wow. This is so cool, Melissa. Their first TV show. Who would have thunk?
Yeah, we knew. They did tell us, I forget what year. Maybe in that,
I must have
whatever
just
year
forgot.
it was that like Patty Jenkins put on the rollerblades and told us about Rogue Squadron. Remember
Right.
that year?
Yeah.
Like it was like we were just cresting out of COVID and they were like, here's a million news items. We swear we're gonna do Fantastic Four, when they just pummeled us with stuff
yeah.
to try and cheer us up.
Yeah.
It might have been in there, but yes, we knew Pixar was going to do their first TV series for Disney Plus called Win or Lose, focusing on a bunch of different characters' perspectives on the day of like a little league softball match.
Yeah.
We're like inside everybody's heads as they prepare for like the softball finals.
What was that movie? It was either a movie or a television show. I don't remember. I think Mark Wahlberg was in it. Or it was like that type of thing where the
Happening.
Not that one. The whole concept was like it was an assassination attempt, but you get to see it from like 6 different people's perspectives.
The Happening?
No, it's not The Happening. That has nothing to do with this.
I don't know. What is it? Is it called like Shooter or Shootist or something like that?
It's something like that. It's not Shooter though. I do remember that one. But it's
my dad asked me the other day if I'd ever seen. My dad asked me if I'd ever seen Shooter.
Dad movie, and I'm like, my dad likes that one too.
If you were not in the room with me, if you did not put it on the TV, Dad, why do you think I, in my private time, have seen Shooter? I have not.
But there was some movie that where it was kind of like that. It was almost this like Rashomon experience, but not exactly. But it was just like there's some kind of like assassination attempt or something, and you get to see it from like the sniper's perspective, from the security details perspective, from some random guy in the audience's perspective, right? And it was just all these different things of like, how can that story change depending on, I don't know. Anyways, win or lose.
It's almost as if there's some sort of happening, and you see that happening.
Not related, Melissa. Not to no.
I do look forward to
happening happen.
I do look forward to Win or Lose. I'm happy they're sticking with it. Yeah. I'm happy this thing that they announced so long ago that you forgot about it is still happening.
So exciting, Melissa.
And
then also
the dream, I guess, to like something so much and then have it erased from your mind, and then you get to learn about it all anew.
Right. And then speaking of dreams, another one of Pixar's television shows entitled Dream Productions, which seems to be an Inside Out spinoff. I think they said set between the first 2 movies.
Yes, in Inside Out, when they're trekking through Riley's brain, they see where dreams come from, and it's like a movie studio.
Yeah.
So this is apparently a mockumentary style look behind the scenes at the production of dreams.
Yeah, I think that's super fun.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of other announcements that happened. We're obviously not listing them all. More live action stuff. Snow White and Lilo and Stitch, and then, of course, Tron
Ares. How much did you learn about Tron Ares?
I knew that they were making a new one. Don't know much about it. I can't say I've really listened to much, if any, of Nine Inch Nails' discography. So when they're like,
me either,
the music is being made by 9 Inch Nails, everyone I knew had some kind of reaction. They were all like, oh my God, yes, this could be amazing. Some were like, 9 Inch Nails? Okay, I guess. And then there's me who's just like, all right. Cool.
Call me when they're 10 inches, then I'll be impressed.
Yeah.
What interests me about that is Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross score plenty of things, but I don't know if 9-inch nails under that band identity has ever scored something that makes it sound like a little harder, a little gnarlier. And from what I've read, that is the tone of Tron Ares. Tron Ares seems like it's almost a horror movie, which is very exciting to me.
Yeah.
So it's what it is like, so Jared Leto plays Ares. He's from inside Tron. And gotta say, when I look at that guy's face, it does seem like it fits in Tron. It seems like he could be a computer program, the like smooth planes of his face. Sure, put him in there. Color him in neon lights. Makes enough sense. There's some programmer on the outside in our world who like accidentally summons him. He like comes from Tron into our world. Right. Which feels like it's a standard plot line for like a sequel to something. What if Fantasy World came to our world? But
yeah,
I love the aesthetic of Tron. The idea of Tron especially with the slight horror bent to it. The idea that Tron will like infect our world.
Sure.
And he's like a villain. He's like, I'm here to take over whatever this dumb human world is. Get ready to all be programs. And just like some computer nerds have to stop him and stop like their whole world from becoming a grid.
I'm wondering if they are trying to use this as like a launch pad for like let's get some more Tron stuff out there beyond just this movie, because yeah, I mean it like I said, sounds fairly standard plot wise, but also like with the updated times, like so many people are playing games on their phone. Is that gonna factor in somehow that you can now download the Tron arcade on your phone and can do so? Do I get sucked in my phone here? Is that how it works? I don't know.
You're not being sucked in. Something is being sucked out.
Sure.
It's
something's getting sucked in, sucked out, sucked off. Who knows? It's all happening.
Nobody's going into Tron. Tron comes to us. Just like, I was so excited. I want to see just like a normal tree become a Tron tree. And I want it to be scary. I want the music to be loud.
Is this the plot of those, like, you've seen, I think we've had them both ways, where it's like one of like King Arthur's knights comes into the modern world and he's like, what is a car? What is a tree? I don't know. What is happening?
It's a Kate and Leopold situation, but instead it's Kate and Tron.
He like comes into the real world and is like not understanding that all of this is not programmed. Like, I have to drive the car myself. Right. Like, what do you mean?
When I hit the other car, it will just dissolve into pixels and that man will go away. What do you mean I hit the car and now the man's leaving the car and he's coming to yell at me? I'm not prepared for this. We don't do this in the grid.
Yeah. This is illegal.
Why do you not have a disc on your back? I got a disc on my back. I'm going to report you, and that big staple is going to come down from the sky and get you.
We went off the rails with that one, which is something also to try. He will go off the rails. He won't have to stay on the light thing.
What if that's how they defeat Tron Ares, is that he can only walk in like 90-degree angles? If you go diagonal, he'll never catch you.
Good Lord. Yeah, I'm excited for more Tron. I remember seeing the last one in theaters. I'll be honest, I don't remember anything about the plot of that one at all.
It's not a plot movie. It's It's like what they say about Tenet. Don't try to understand it. Just feel it.
Listen, I want to understand it. I still haven't finished it. It's been months, okay?
Years.
It's been years.
A lifetime. I was born having not finished Tenet.
but no, my point is, like, I don't remember anything about that last Tron except the soundtrack. So even me not knowing Nine Inch Nails really all that much, like, I'm expecting this to be a really, really good soundtrack. I have high hopes for that, so I'm excited.
I'm thinking about some tabloid article, like a really silly National Enquirer tabloid article. And sometimes it'll be like, boy returns from beyond the grave. The boy returns from death. You know, heaven is real. Saw an angel, whatever.
Yeah.
What if there's a picture in National Enquirer and on the front page is like, baby born with full knowledge of Tenet. 11-month-old can recite plot of Christopher Nolan's Tenet. What does this prove?
That's it. End of humanity right there.
We've reached our final.
We've reached the pinnacle. That's our final
it's the
form.
End of the line.
From here on out, all babies will understand Tenet inherently.
Not just know it, understand it.
Yeah. They will have internalized it. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I say we wrap up the show right there on that high note. That was a good one. Melissa, where can the people find you, get in contact with you?
You can email me at yourhostmelissa@gmail.com. Tell me how excited you are for Tron Ares.
Yeah, indeed. And if you guys want to get in touch with me, I am at Yo Kyle Springer. And if you guys want to stay up to date with all the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts Official on Threads. So please go like, share, and subscribe. You guys know the deal with all of that good stuff. Oh man, the music cut out. Oh well. Lame. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Everything's chaos. Tron is real. I understand Tenet. This has been number 289 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.